Hello, welcome back. I'm Tanya from Tanya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? So, after I did the first set of shampoo bars, I got to thinking about doing another set, and I actually have another one in the works, but who knows when that one will come out. But anyway, it has a few different ingredients in it. Now, when I first started soaping, and I looked for witch hazel in a soap bar, the only thing I could find was the Nerdy Farm Wife did one, and it was put on Brambleberry's website, display, like a write-up on their blog, and it was the same 1 teaspoon per pound of oils. Now, I'm really starting to think that this 1 teaspoon per pound of oils is just something they tell you because it's probably the safest bet and nothing will happen because it's such a small amount. Right? Because, when I was doing puree soaps, that's what I'd always find. 1 teaspoon per pound of oils, And actually, if you start looking, it's like 1 ounce, 1.5 ounces of puree. You could probably push the limits of it even farther because it's just the liquid portion. If it's chunky, you might have a few problems because you don't want it to rot, right? So, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But anyway, so this shampoo bar that we are going to do smells heavenly. I love the fragrance. I like using it just because of the fragrance oil. Does that make sense? Even though I prefer the first bar over this bar. But this bar was kind of crafted for more grease, more buildup, more oily hair. Does that make sense? Where you have the dandruff and stuff like that. Okay, that's what it was crafted after. So we will check out this video. Dream big, be true to you. You are worth it. And let's go check out the rice water and witch hazel shampoo bar. Okay, this is a hot process soap shampoo bar. Maybe the next one I'll do a cold process. I don't know yet. But my oils are all in there, and I usually like to heat them to about 150 degrees just to start the process, if you want to say that. Now, my lye water is rice water, and it's infused with horsetail or shave grass, which is known to be good for hair. Now, if you are looking for fermented rice water, it's kind of funny how that exploded, and there is a blog, and she is just livid because people are saying they're fermenting rice water by leaving it on the counter, and it's actually spoiling. So I'm going to actually hopefully leave that link below so you can read that. It's really interesting. But rice water is just the water when you soak your rice, literally. And one quick thing on that is if you're going to do that, don't use Uncle Ben's or some instant rice. Use some like jasmine or the basmati, whatever. Use a good quality rice, okay? So added the lye water, and once it's at 150, it doesn't really take long for me to get it to where I want it to be. If you want to say trace or whatever. And this is this is my medium-sized crock pot. It is 16 ounces of oils. It is, I'll leave the recipe for you if you want it at the end of the video. But, right, I am just trying to get it to trace so it doesn't fall apart. And the funny thing is about hot process, the great thing about hot process is if it falls apart, you just go back and hit it with the immersion blender. It's no big deal because as it cooks, it saponifies. Yeah, I don't know why people think hot process is such a process because it's really not. It's really not. You could probably just mix it up, leave it in there, and the next day you'd have soap of some sort. I don't know if you'd want to actually leave it. You'd kind of want to mix it. But anyway, I'm just going to scrape down the batter and let it cook for 15 minutes. This is on my, I think it's on the warm or low setting. I can't remember. But 15 minutes and it is a bubbling. This is where you have to watch it. Do not leave your hot process soap. I actually do set a timer for 5 minutes and 5 minutes and 5 minutes, the first 15, because I do not want it to overflow. Every time, if I don't set it for the 555, it overflows. It's a given. But this is looking good. It's just cooking along. So I just give it a good mix and, cover it up and cook it for another 15 minutes. And if you're wondering about how long I cooked this, I probably cooked it an hour total. Checking it every 15 minutes just to see where it was at and give it a mix, just to make sure, because I am known for my hot process to get too hot and then it's liquid. It's 220 degrees and it looks like it's coming apart, but it's not. This is actually kind of funky looking. It's kind of, look at how smooth, and it is probably hitting its a gel phase, that glossy phase. I just love that phase actually. But after another 15 minutes, do you want to talk about additives here? Additives, I put 1 ounce of rose witch hazel. That's witch hazel infused with roses. I put honey in this. I put amla powder in this. I was actually maybe we put the reishi powder in the other one? I don't know where my other recipe is. It's in here somewhere. Oh, we put shiitake in that other one. Okay, that's why we were putting the amla powder in this one. So, yeah. And then the fragrance oil I'm using at the end. The nice thing about hot process is you don't need as much fragrance oil unless you want to as you do regular soap. So my fragrance oil is apple honey champagne. I fell in love with that when I made my marshmallow moisturizers. Somebody actually thought it was actually made out of marshmallows, and I had to explain that marshmallow root is a plant. Yeah, so maybe next year, or if I leave them on the website, I'm going to have to maybe change their name. But it is such a delightful lotion. But yeah, what do you know? Oh, and rose clay. There is rose clay in here. I don't know why I put it in there. I really didn't have to, and it kind of just, I think I wanted to boost the amla, to make it more of a rosy color, but yeah, it didn't. They look very similar to the other ones, which is very sad. I'm gonna have to try and make a pretty colored bar or something. You see all those shampoo bars that are blue and green, but of course they are not made this way. They use different ingredients. So, yeah. I know it's a thing, and I know I'm just kind of picky, and you're probably like, get over it. And I'm like, yeah, I should get over it, but I'm not there yet. Okay? I'm not there yet to use SCI noodles and all those other ingredients that it's like, why? I don't know why. Oh, but one thing about witch hazel, and I'm not sure if honey has the charge, but honey quat, which is made from honey, they are both cationic. And cationic it's amazing because it actually is charged differently than the hair, and so it sticks to the hair, and maybe it makes it feel thicker and has more volume. And I do like that about this shampoo bar. I do notice that. And I took a deep dive down the whole anionic and cationic, and it's just a crazy thing. I have added witch hazel to cold process shampoo bars before, way back. Haven't made any of those in a hot minute, but it did give it kind of a funky texture compared to the other bar. I'm going to blame it on the witch hazel because, what else would I blame it on at this point? Although I can't convince my kids to use any of these shampoo bars. Oh, my daughter does, but my boys will not. They just like their regular bars, and I guess if it works for them and it works for their hair, that's great, but it's kind of a crazy thing. And now to put these in the mold, look at the color. It is kind of it is brown, but it looks like a reddish brick color in there. Yeah, it's not a reddish brick color when I'm all said and done with it, which is sad. And yeah, I didn't do a very good job tapping the mold down, but it is a different consistency. It's almost, I'd have to go back and watch that other video, but this one's just seemed more on the, I don't want to say slimy side because that's not exactly what I mean, but maybe it just had more, maybe it had a better gelling. I don't think so than the other one, but you would think by how smooth and silky it looks that it would have went into the mold just fine, right? Yeah, wait till I mold these. It was a shock for me too. Now, if you put this in a column mold or some other mold, it's fine to leave it overnight and come back and cut it the next day. I do that all the time with my hot process soaps. The Blue Caribbean is always hot processed, and so is the Mountain Spice, and they are always cut the next day, and I have no problem cutting them with my wire cutter. But look at these things. What in the world? Like, look at that. Isn't that crazy? They are just like, they're not smooth. They're not, and like I said, I could cold process this. It's not, there's no difference. It's just the additives don't go through saponification, which was my point in doing it hot process style. The witch hazel should still be in there. It did not go through saponification. It was all done saponifying. So that's the bonus to hot process. Also, I'm just going to stamp these little buggers so I know the difference between them and my other ones. I think the other ones are just a smidge darker, but it's, when they're drying and curing, yeah, don't use the pokey end. That I wouldn't do that, but I'm just saying, use a smooth end. Isn't that cute? He's a pretty. But that apple champagne is just delightful. It is different than my other shampoo bar. It does act differently, and maybe it is because of the witch hazel. It just gives it some more volume and body. I am going to give you a lather test on this because my one complaint is people are always like, oh, shampoo bars don't, oh, that's just another way to stamp them, don't lather. I have never, ever, ever, ever had a shampoo bar that didn't lather. Okay, so we're going to show you. Here's the first part. And then you add the water, and get the big, big bubbles. I love the big bubbles. This feels so great. It washes clean from my hair. Like, I don't have a problem, like with buildup on my scalp or anything with these shampoo bars. And that is a huge bonus. Here are the fragrance notes for these shampoo bars. Here are the bars right after I pulled them out of the mold. And here they are once they are fully cured. And as I promised, here is the recipe for these shampoo bars. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.